Hi, welcome to Greenleigh. Today I'm fishing the flood tide. It's just finished, it's just come to like the end of the ebb. It's slack tide for a little bit, and then we're going to be fishing the 2-3 hours into the flood, something like that. So it's a very old walk here. It's not particularly for the faint-hearted. I've chosen to walk round from White Mark, which is not a pleasant walk over all these boulders. But the boulders here have a lot of barnacles over them, so grip is good at this. You can park up by Greenleigh Farm, not on the farm. They revoked those rights a few years back now. But you can park up in a lay-by just before the gates to the farm. I have heard of cars being vandalised up there, so leave it at your own risk. I tend to park up down by Gasworks and a couple of free spaces down there, and then just walk down. It takes you about 20 minutes maybe, something like that. A bit of boulder hopping. So you just go past White Mark, keep going, and I'm on sort of like the second out bit that goes out into the sea. There's a couple of guys over there that have taken sort of prime spot that I would have chosen, which is in front of the farm itself. But on the upside, when the tide changes, I'll just move slightly to my right over here, come more inland, and I've got a nice big bay that we can bring fish into. So as you can see, the right rod's skipping a little bit, it's where the waves are catching the lead. And we're hoping for Mission Ray today. It's a big bait session, so hopefully there's plenty of small-eyed about and plenty of plums hopefully. I'd like to see a double figure fish yet. It's like the 3rd or 4th session this year, and I haven't had one yet, so that's not on. It's just not on. So with that, we're after a double figure fish. It's a big bait session, and I want me some Ray. So with that, I say baits are out. On the left hand rod I've got a pulley rig, 150 pound rig body going to 60 pound amnesia with a mustard uptide Viking 4.0 hook, and that's got sardine and squid on it. On the right rod I've got a running ledger. It's in close. Sorry, I've got the left one out as far as I can go with a big bait. On the right rod I've got a running ledger format, probably about 2.5 foot trace, and then the rig body that it can run through is probably about 6 foot, somewhere around there. I like the fish to run, take it, and more like a bolt rig I suppose. But anyway, I've got that, and that's out at about 40-50 yards. I'll fire that anywhere between 30 and 50 depending. As it's quite shallow here today with the low tide, I fired it out to about 50. But fish come in close here as much as they come out far, so it's mainly sand out there. Occasionally with storms it will change, and like you get the odd boulder and stuff like that out there. But generally speaking, it's not too snaggy. Your biggest problem here is on the flood. If you leave out a grip weight too long, then the sand will cover it over and it seizes your weight, and that's the end of that. So let's get it on. Let's catch some ray. That's what it's all about. So, thought I felt a bite as I was pulling it in, and we've got a lovely ray here. So, nice small line. I literally just picked up the bait off it wet. I just calibrated the scales to the weight bag. Okay, let's see how he goes. Coming in at, oh, it's double figures. Come on, stay still, bud. Oh, he's coming out the sling, typical. Hang on. Sling's a bit big for him. Made for longer fish. Come on. Melt the wind turning. Oh, he's coming out again, for God's sake. Okay. Come on. Still calibrated as long as it don't turn off. Pounds as well, not kilos. I'm old school. I prefer pounds to kilos, each still in there. That's a nice ray, either way. I'd say it's going double figures. Go in. 10 £10 2.7. So nice double figure rate to start the session. Always a nice start. I've only been here about half hour or so, so certainly can't complain at that. What a beauty. Stunning fish. I must admit, I do like small live rays. They can have some absolutely stunning patterns on them. Well, this one's covered in slime. It's not, so I'm going to get it back anyway. So if you're into ray fishing, everywhere from sort of like gasworks just behind the Minehead Harbour up through to Greenleigh where we are today, it's great for rays. You really can't go wrong. There's a lot of small-eyed rays here, a lot of spotties. Blondes aren't as many, but they are here. You do find them, and you can get them to a good size here as well. When I say a good size, sort of £20, a bit more sometimes. 22 I think I've seen come out there. The regular sizes are normally about sort of £5 to £9. But it's not uncommon to see a sort of £15 to £16 blonde as well. That'd be lovely if we got that today. So there's a nice slick trail out there at the moment going as well, so it's looking good for travelling a bit. Hopefully that'll pull a couple of fish in. Wonder how those guys up there are getting on. So when you're casting out here, although I've got one further out as far as I can cast like those large mates, also closer in here is good. Sort of, you'll get anything sort of 30 to 50 metres out, no problem. You get plenty of rays around that mark. I say friends before, when I've come down with like Chris Wells, who comes fishing with me a lot, it's, you know, he's seen me chuck out running ledger sort of 30, 50 yards out and pull in sort of £9.5 small live rays. So they do come right up close. Seems some nice bass pulled out in close as well, actually, about sort of £5, £6. Never really sniffed that. Well, is that? No. A bit stronger, but it's a bigger wave. So the other rod's out more direct in front, because this one I've fired it's slightly to the right. Just because I've got a rolling lead on this one, I didn't want it to roll over my other line, so I'll keep them well separate. Got a couple of nice slicks out there that I can see, which is especially great on a shallow water and whatnot. Tell you what, when it's sunny in Somerset, it's stunning. It really is. Gotta love days like today out here. Certainly better than sat in a bloody stuffy office somewhere. That's just the waves pulling it. I can actually see the wave on the line. So because they're larger baits today, I'm also not using mono. I'm using a 33-pound Manster ×9 braid, which is like super soft. It's like silk, it's great. And I've got an 85-pound leader on it. It's 3 times as long as my rods. I just find that I can get more distance with a larger bait, and you can still retain all the strength and everything. So obviously you don't have the stretch that you'd normally have with the mono, but not the end of the world. Just be a bit careful when you're bringing them in, I guess. The surfs here aren't massive. If anything, they help you bring the fish in, especially rays. You get a decent ray, they like to hug the bottom here for the sand. They bury themselves, you'll be there trying to pull like fish out of concrete. That's what it feels like. So, the bait we're using, I've been through it before, but one of those, off with the head, off with the tail, For those that don't know and new to fishing, the tail makes the fish spin in the water, so you definitely don't want that on there. But cut just behind the gills, get all the blood and everything. So I'll cut that long ways down there. And I'll do the same with the squid, cut it long ways, and then put the two open sides together, whip it all up, and then I'll hook the squid side because it's tougher and this is quite a soft fish. So just chop it off there, and like I say, just by the gills, and then when it defrosts, it's almost there. It'll bleed out, gets extra scent and smell. Then cover it in with sauce. And we're good for a ray. So for anybody new, there's the open cut side. The open cut side, just put them together, give them a little bit of a smush together. So he's got a little squid jacket on. Doesn't matter if his guts are in it or not. And then whip him up like so. And then what I find is it'll give the fish oil like a slower release, especially in strong waters here, because the current rips through here, and it just makes your bait last a little bit longer. The fish is soft, like I say, but you get a lot of stink from both baits out quickly. One bait like so. Put it on your hook, off you go. Make sure you tie the hook shank down as well by the eye. Keep it nice and flush. Flush, that is. So, same with that one, smush it down. Give it a good whipping. There's a 3 or 4 squirts of the old bait spray, and it's good to go. So, let's see what that's done. When I spray them, generally I tend to leave them just a couple of minutes, just to let it soak in a little. Don't know if it makes a difference, but it's just the way I do it. Right, okay. So let's put the baits away a second. Put them nice and cold and frozen. Okay, easy. So, right, let's get them in. Let's change them up. The wind here is a bit slippy at times, so beware. You've been warm. So nothing's screaming off while we're moving. Now I need to do a short walk, get over to the other side. So that's where we're going, just over there, the other side of this rock face, because once the water comes in here, it's going to cut us off. So it's just a little jaunt, pain in the bum, but when I got down the track, there was already cars there, so it is what it is. But don't want to be stuck here until well after high tide either, so better to do a short walk now, just get it over with, and then we've got the flooding bay. We can fish up for a few hours. Roughly comes in on the flat at about 1.5 to 2 yards a minute on the flat, so it really does motor along here. Does in other places too, like Blue Anchor. Certainly need to be careful there, don't go out too far. Mud there is lethal. It's people rescued every year. People don't listen to the signs, think they know better, end up coming a cropper. A couple of years ago, a mother got her 6-year-old daughter stuck out there with her. Tide racing in. It was lucky for them they actually managed to be saved. But there are some people in the past that haven't been as lucky. Let's just put this out of the tide's reach. I'm going to go back and get my gear. I think it's time for a battery change when I get back too. Right, beautiful people, in a bit. I've got to go back again. The joys. Well, welcome back, beautiful people. We've done the move. As it's quiet over there, I figured it's best to come back now and see if we can hit something in the flood over here, because I know there's a small gully out there. I think the coral's all covered up, so with that I'm going to bait up the rods and then fire them out this side of the bay, see if there's anything just hanging around in this little, it's like a really wide shallow gully over here. So obviously the sands here constantly shift, but you can see it if you come down at low tide. I noticed it on the way down. So as there's nothing happening over the other side, we'll give it a blast there. Anyway, just going to unpack everything. Alright, that's a dog. Stevie flies up, you don't want to see that, do you? Small having it. It keeps on, we'll strike it in a minute and just see if we'll get something in and then like pass it back down. Hopefully they might pass. Last thing I want is a cloud of dogs. Pop right again. So, as thought, one of the Bristol Channel's infamous dogs. Let's get the hook out and get him back either way. Turned into a nice evening. Stunning views out there. Better be careful, that chap must got told off that, didn't he? Oh, naughty naughty. Anyway, the bites have dried up a bit. I think the dogfish have like buggered off, which is good. Give baits a chance to be caught by something else. Got a couple of nice oil slicks just going all the way through the water now. And, nice trail leading, nice thin trail. Right, it's time to call it. Shame we didn't get a blonde as well, but certainly not to be sniffed at today. More than happy with the results, especially with how fishing has been around there. But time to get this in and get a wobble on over the boulders and get back. Belly's rumbling, thinking the throat's been split. Come back untouched anyway. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching. This has been like Greenleigh in the edge of White Mark. It's been a good day considering, with a double figure ray, which is what we set out to get, a ray today, and we had a cheeky dogfish getting on the old big bait somehow. But anyway, not to be sniffed at. If you find yourself keep coming back and you haven't subscribed, please do, and give us a like on the videos that you like. Gives me an idea of what people want, and then I'll go out and film more of them. So the weekly videos are still coming out. Got Dad v Danny coming out soon in February. Need to get out and do that one, which will be soon. Get the cheeky little get going. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you next week.